This is Lindsay Caldwell with ifyoucandreamit.doit.com, and I have Dolly Parton here. And last night you were honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award, and I love what you said in your speech. Thank you to my fans for letting my little girl's dream come true. How was that moment for you? Kind of full circle?
It really was. It was just, it makes you feel really proud, like you might have done something right. And as I mentioned, it was my dream always, as a little child, to be a star. And I used to stand on the porch and pretend I was singing to the world, in a tobacco stick with a tin can on top. And then last night when I said, I thank God and the fans every day for allowing me to see my little girl dreams come true. But I'm a big dreamer. I even have a book out called Dream More. And so I just always believe that you can dream it. As you say, you can have it, but you got to put legs and wings and everything on those dreams. They're not just, you can't just dream them, they'll just become a empty wish.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you've got to work your dreams. So it's possible. I'm a good example of dreams coming true.
And speaking of working, your Uncle Bill is introduced in this new Christmas movie, and he was really instrumental in kind of believing in you with your dream and driving you back and forth. Can you kind of talk about those moments with your Uncle Bill and how he's really instrumental in your dream coming true?
Yeah, well, my mom's people were all very musical, and my Uncle Bill played guitar, and he used to sing in honky tonks and different things around Knoxville area. And so every time he would come to visit, he and my mom were very close. And so when he'd come to visit, he would see me singing my songs and writing these songs, and he just saw that I was going to do it, that I was serious about this. So he started paying attention and taking me around to sing locally at different things like that. And so we would take different trips back and forth, and as we'd do that, we'd beat on the dash of the car, I'd play the guitar while he drove, and we'd write songs together. In fact, we had the BMI Song of the Year back in 1966 called Put It Off Until Tomorrow, that we wrote together. So we were very proud of that. But we wrote together, but he was a very important person in my life, still is. He's still living. And so I wanted to honor him and introduce him in the movie. I love
that. And in the movie, there's kind of, you guys are walking through saving up money to buy your mom a wedding ring.
Have you seen the movie?
No, just from the press conference.
Oh, I started saying, we don't even have it done yet. I said,
you guys
who do you know? I'm executive producer.
You sold it well, Dolly. I believed it. I believe I saw the vision. So the wedding ring, can you kind of talk about how your financial challenges... thanks, Dolly.
Yeah, I know, I hit you in the head. Not even
can you talk about how your financial challenges growing up really shaped you into who you are today?
Well, I really think that my life, the way it was then, has changed everything for me, the way I look at things now. I still appreciate the value of $1. I think about my daddy every time I go to buy a piece of something that maybe costs a lot, like one piece of clothes that's thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. I think, I can't buy that. My daddy didn't make that much in a whole year, so I'd rather buy a whole bunch of cheap stuff than to have one thing that costs a fortune, because I can't hardly justify. That's why I look so cheap. But the only time I spend money on excessively is on my stage costumes, but other than that I just wear whatever. But I just appreciate people's conditions. I understand families. I understand how hard it is. And so I just appreciate everything, because I relate to everybody for all those same reasons that you said, because I lived it.
And last question, speaking of that, I was talking to Raylan, who's a younger country artist, and she said she just really admires you because of your authenticity and how you remained who you are. I think a lot of artists and even young people really struggle remaining who they are. What advice would you give to them to kind of stick to their guns?
Well, there is that old saying, and I use this all the time, that says, to thine own self be true. There is such depth of wisdom in that if you take that apart and really follow that, because you got to know who you are, you got to appreciate who you are, you got to know your limitations, if there are any, or to know that there are none. You have to really know who you are, what you're willing to sacrifice, how hard you're willing to work. So if you can know you, and you can really, connect with who you are, and be comfortable with that, then you usually can connect to other people. So I just never thought about being anything but myself. I mean, who else would I be?
I love that.
It would be a fake, and I look fake, but I'm not fake.
I love that. Thanks so much, Dolly.
Thank you.